This story is titled, My Girlfriend Called Me, Her Safe Option, So I Stopped Being Her Backup Plan. Male 29. Not sure if this really belongs here, but I've read enough posts from people who stayed too long hoping someone would finally choose them. I used to think patience and loyalty were the same thing as love. I thought if you gave someone enough time, they'd see your worth. I learned the hard way that being someone's safe option isn't love, it's limbo. So I wanted to share my story for anyone who's still holding on to someone who says, I'm just not ready right now, but maybe someday. Because sometimes, someday never comes. And that's the best thing that could happen to you. When I met Claire, she was the kind of person who made you feel like life was happening and fast forward. Every night had a plan, every weekend an adventure, every conversation a spark. We met through friends at a mutual friend's housewarming party. She was laughing too loud, wearing a red dress that looked like confidence itself. I was standing in the kitchen, refilling the ice bucket, when she caught my eye and said, You look like you're on snack duty. I take my responsibilities seriously, I said. That made her laugh, the real kind, from the chest. She handed me her drink and said, Then you're already better boyfriend material than half the guys here? That should have been my first warning sign. That she said, boyfriend material, like it was a compliment but not a consideration. But when you're lonely and someone like Claire notices you, it feels like gravity. Claire was spontaneous. She'd text me at midnight. Get dressed, I'm outside, let's get pancakes. She never cared that I had work the next morning. I'd go anyway. Because with her, everything felt alive. After a few months, we started dating, if you could call it that. We didn't have a label. She said she didn't believe in titles. I told myself I was fine with that it would change once she saw how good we were together. I met her friends. They liked me. Her mom liked me too. Told me at dinner once that I seemed like the kind of man a woman could build a life with. Claire laughed when she heard that. Mom, he's not a mortgage, she said. It stung. But she kissed me later that night and said, Don't get in your head. You're the only one I actually feel safe with. At the time, I thought safe meant loved. The first crack came during one of her girls' trips. She'd gone to Miami with two of her friends. We were texting back and forth, light, playful stuff, when suddenly she stopped replying for almost 2 days. When she finally texted, it was something like greater than asterisk. Hey, sorry, bad reception. You know how it is. Miss you, though. But I'd seen her Instagram stories, beach parties, rooftop bars, guys in the background. I didn't mention it. I didn't want to seem jealous. When she came back, she said, You trust me, right? I said, Of course. She smiled. Good. Because I'd hate to date one of those insecure guys. That word, trust, became her shield. Anytime I brought up something that made me uncomfortable, she'd say, I thought you trusted me. I started biting my tongue more often. Months went by, and we settled into this strange rhythm, close but distant. I'd cook dinner, help her prep for her job interviews, drive her to appointments when her car broke down. She'd thank me with a kiss, sometimes with affection, sometimes out of habit. One night, we were at a bar with friends when her best friend Emma said jokingly, Claire, you better lock this one down before someone else does. Claire laughed. That light, careless laugh that always came before something sharp. Please, he's not going anywhere. He's my safe option. Everyone laughed, except me. I asked her about it later, in the car. Safe option? I said quietly. She brushed it off. Babe, relax. It's a joke. It just means you're, reliable. The guy I could actually see myself with someday. Someday? I asked. Yeah, she said, turning to look out the window. I mean, I'm not ready to settle down right now. I want to live a little, but you're the kind of guy a woman ends up marrying. She said it like I should have been proud, but all I could think about was how I wasn't her today, just her eventual. After that, things shifted. Not drastically, but enough that I noticed. She started talking about guys who flirted with her at work and the cute trainer at the gym. Always with that same line afterward. Don't worry, you're my constant. Constant. Like gravity. Like background noise. Like furniture. Meanwhile, I was making real sacrifices, turning down promotions because they required travel, helping her with rent when she had a bad month, rearranging my schedule to make hers easier. One night, she went out with coworkers and didn't come home until 3 a.m. I stayed up, pretending to watch TV, but really just waiting for the sound of her key. When she finally walked in, heels in her hand, hair a little messy, she smiled sleepily and said, "You're sweet for worrying. That's why you'll make a great husband one day." Then she fell asleep next to me like nothing happened. And I lay there realizing, she didn't say I'd make a great husband for her. Just, great husband. The breaking point came on a random Tuesday. We were eating takeout on the couch. She was scrolling through her phone, laughing at something, when she said, "It's so funny. My friend Jenna asked me if you're the one." "And what did you say?" I asked, half joking. She shrugged. "I said you're probably the one I'll end up with. But not yet. I'm not done being me." I stared at her. "So I'm what? The finish line?" She frowned. "Don't be dramatic. I just mean I know you're the kind of guy I should be with. You're stable, kind, you listen. But I need to live first. You don't want me to resent you later, right?" I didn't answer. I couldn't. Because in that moment, it hit me. She wasn't keeping me because she loved me. She was keeping me because she wanted to know I'd still be there after she was done chasing everyone else. I was her insurance policy, her backup plan, her safe option. That night, I couldn't sleep. I went over every conversation we'd ever had, every compliment that suddenly sounded hollow, every "I love you" that felt more like reassurance than truth. And for the first time, I didn't feel lucky to have her. I felt small. The next morning, when she kissed me goodbye, I didn't kiss back. She noticed, paused, looked at me curiously, but said nothing. Neither did I, because I realized silence was the only way she'd ever notice the difference. Throws. After that night, something in me shifted. I didn't make a decision right away, not consciously. It was more like a quiet resignation, the kind that settles into your bones when you finally stop lying to yourself. I still woke up beside her. Still made coffee for two. Still listened when she complained about work or her flaky friends. But something had drained out of me. I stopped filling the silences. She noticed. "What's wrong with you lately?" she asked one evening while we were grocery shopping. "You've been weird." "I'm fine," I said. "You're not," she pressed. "You're being distant." I looked at her and said, "You told me I'm your safe option, remember? Maybe I'm just acting the part." She froze in the cereal aisle, blinking like I'd just spoken a foreign language. "That was a joke," she said finally. "Was it?" She looked away. "You're taking everything too seriously lately." "No," I said quietly. "I'm just finally taking it seriously." We drove home in silence. Over the next few weeks, I started living like she wasn't there. Not out of spite, but out of clarity. I went to the gym again. Started eating better, sleeping better. Reconnected with my brother who I hadn't seen in months. Spent time with friends she'd subtly distanced me from. It's funny, when you're someone's safe option, you forget what it's like to feel unsafe in the best way. That little thrill of unpredictability. The sense that you have your own life. I realized how small my world had become. Every decision had revolved around her. Her schedule, her moods, her approval. I hadn't even noticed that I'd stopped choosing myself. Claire wasn't oblivious. She just thought she could fix it with charm. She started doing small things. Buying my favorite snacks, sending me flirty texts during the day, showing up at my work with coffee. It would have worked before. But by then, it felt like watching someone play a role they didn't believe in. One night, we were lying in bed and she rolled over to face me. "You're really scaring me," she said softly. "Why?" "Because you're different. You don't ask where I'm going, you don't text me goodnight when I'm out, you don't—" She trailed off. "You don't care." I looked at her, and for the first time, I didn't feel that ache to comfort her. "I do care," I said, "just not in the way you want me to." She frowned. "What's that supposed to mean?" It means I finally realized that love isn't waiting around for someone to choose you. It's choosing yourself when they won't. She went quiet, rolled onto her back, said nothing else. The next morning, she was gone before I woke up. A week later, she invited me to her friend's birthday party. I almost said no. But something in me wanted to see her world again, just to confirm how out of place I'd become. It was the usual crowd, half drunk, too loud, clinging to their 20s like it was a lifeboat. Claire was in her element, laughing, tossing her hair, pretending not to notice the attention she drew. I watched her from across the room, feeling more like a spectator than a partner. At one point, her friend Emma, the same one who'd called me the safe option, leaned over and said quietly, "You look done." I gave her a small smile. "Maybe I am." She nodded, like she understood. She's a great person, but she doesn't know what she wants. Don't let her figure it out at your expense. That line stuck with me. Half an hour later, I found Claire on the balcony, scrolling through her phone, oblivious to the fact that I was watching her. She looked up, smiled like nothing was wrong, and said, "You okay?" "I think I'm going to head out," I said. "What?" "It's early." "Yeah, I've got an early morning." She rolled her eyes. "You always have an early morning?" "Yeah," I said again, "and I always wait for you to notice." She frowned. "What does that mean?" "It means I'm done waiting." Then I left. For 2 days, she didn't text or call. I thought maybe she'd finally taken the hint, that she was relieved I'd made the decision for both of us. Then came the messages. "Can we talk?" "I don't understand what's going on with you." "Are you breaking up with me?" "Please don't do this over text." I didn't reply. She showed up at my apartment on the third day. I opened the door and she looked smaller somehow. Tired, confused. "Why are you doing this?" she asked. "Because I'm tired of being your placeholder," I said. She blinked. "You're not..." "Don't," I said. "You called me your safe option, Claire. You made it clear I'm the one you'd end up with, not the one you want." "You think that's love?" Tears welled up in her eyes. "That's not what I meant." "You know I care about you." "I know you care," I said. "I just finally understand that's not enough." She tried to reach for my hand, but I stepped back. "I don't hate you," I said quietly. "But I can't keep living like I'm waiting for my turn." Her voice cracked. "So what? You're just done?" I nodded. "Yeah, I am." She stared at me for a long moment, then left without another word. The first week was brutal. The silence was loud, the apartment felt haunted, and every song on shuffle seemed to know my pain personally. But something strange started happening after that. I woke up earlier, ate better, stopped checking my phone every 10 minutes. I started to breathe differently, slower, deeper, like I wasn't waiting for someone else to set the pace anymore. I realized I'd been living reactively for years, always adjusting to someone else's wants, moods, timelines. Now, I was just existing. And it was peaceful. I went to dinner with friends, started hiking again, even joined a photography class, something I'd always wanted to do but never had time for. For the first time in years, my life wasn't revolving around another person. It was revolving around me. A month later, she called. I almost didn't answer, but curiosity got the better of me. Her voice was soft. "Hey. Hey. How are you?" "I'm good," I said. And I meant it. She hesitated. "I've been thinking about you." "About us," I waited. "I was stupid," she said finally. "You were the best thing in my life, and I treated you like a safety net. I thought I needed excitement, but I just needed stability. I miss you." I closed my eyes for a second. A few weeks ago, those words would have broken me open. Now they just felt late. "I believe you," I said. "But I think you miss the version of me who waited around." She went quiet. "I'm not angry," I said. "But I'm not waiting anymore either." There was a long silence. Then she whispered, "I really messed this up." "Yeah," I said gently. "But I think I needed you to." It's been 6 months now. Claire and I haven't spoken since that call. Last I heard, she moved to another city. I hope she's doing okay. I met someone new a few weeks ago. Someone who laughs with her whole face, who asks questions and actually listens. I'm taking it slow this time. No expectations, just presence. Looking back, I don't hate Claire. She wasn't cruel. She just didn't love me in the way I deserve to be loved, and I didn't love myself enough to demand it sooner. I used to think being someone's safe option was a compliment. Now I know it's a warning. If someone tells you you're there someday, don't wait for it to become today. Because while they're saving you for later, you could be saving yourself right now.